Nothing, baby. Let's go. That's the world now. That's the whole world.
Welcome to the Lone Star College Football Show. I'm your host, Chris Daly. Each episode, I will bring you news and information about college football in Texas, not just the FBS school, anyone who plays college football in the great state of Texas. I will do so by talking with the people making it happen on the gridiron, the head coaches, the staff, the players, but mostly the head coaches. Thank you for joining us.
Looking to boost your company's marketing? Look no further than Fresh Media Works. Podcasting is the best way to promote your brand and increase your customer base. You can create your own show, be a guest on other podcasts, or advertise on existing podcasts to reach a valuable audience. Don't wait. Start elevating your marketing game today with Fresh Media Works. Call now, 713-269-4620, or find us online at freshmediaworks.com/podcasting.
This series consists of press conferences at the 2023 Texas High School Football Coaches Association Convention. This is Jeff Traylor, the UTSA head coach.
What's kept you at UTSA, and how hot is that for you?
I just started off. Let's just get it going here. Mike, that's been something that I've dealt with a lot in my career. I look back to Gilmer, and I feel that question from not near as many people. My man Elvin Henderson and the old Gilmer Mirror back in the day would ask me, all the time. What that means is you've been winning a lot of ball games, and whenever you take over a program that hadn't been doing real well, like we were at Gilmer, and then you win a bunch of football games every year, you're going to field that question. And so I filled it for 15 years. So I hope for the next 15 years, I'm sitting here and answering the same question, because that means we've been in a lot of ball games, and there's a lot of interest, because when you win a lot of ball games, there's a lot of interest, which means you got a lot of great players, and I've got a bunch of great players. And to answer the second part of your question of what's made me stay there, I have a unique relationship with that city. If you've ever been to San Antonio, if you've ever experienced it, there's a humility about that place. There's a sense of family. There's a lot of fun in the city. There's something about building your own thing, and I know Larry Coker and Frank Wilson had a lot to do with that before me, but there's still something about knowing you had a lot to do with it. We're only 12 years old. We got a lot of things we need to get done, but we've done a lot in the last 3 years going on 4. So the love for the city, and I do feel that my administration is committed to doing what we want to do. It's just expediting because of the winning at such a large amount and getting put in the AAC so quick. And now you're competing against SMU, Memphis, Tulane, East Carolina. Those guys have been doing this for a long time, and we got to get caught up.
Chris Hummer with 24/7 Sports. What are the challenges associated with having a developmental and recruiting-based program in this era, and what's allowed you and your staff to keep so much of your roster intact with all the outside challenges that come with that?
I know I say the same thing all the time. I know I'm the most boring interview in the world, but the evaluation piece is very important. We've always trusted our eyes. I know that I shouldn't, and I try not to, but my president loves all of you guys' ratings and all y'all stars, so he's always letting me know how I'm doing. But I'm going to go on what I see, and that doesn't mean I don't chop it up with a lot of guys in this room and here and ask them their opinions. It doesn't mean I think I've got all the answers, because I like to trust other people's views of that. So the evaluation piece is important. Recruiting, it's still important. I hate the word recruiting. I wish it was just called relationships. It's important. So to your answer, to your question though, Chris, the developmental piece is the most important part to me. I think the Texas high school football coach in me, that's really helped, because you don't get to pick your players at Gilmer, in spite of what everybody likes to say. Those guys, are what you get, right? And you got to decide what they can do and do what they can do. And that's where I'm most proud of, is what we've inherited and what we've developed with those players. As far as how we've kept them all, we did lose one this year, but we kept 7 that people tried to get. We kept them, and we obviously don't have the money that the SEC has to offer our kids, but our collectors do very well. I'm very grateful for 210 City Fans, and 210inspired.org, and Runners Rising. We have 3 collectors, and I repeat, we can't pay what those other guys can pay, but our kids are taken care of. If you get on the field in San Antonio and you help win ball games, our city's going to take care of you, right? So we didn't keep those kids by, shucks, Jeff Traylor's thick accent. You got to have some boosters step up. You got to have nice facilities. You got to win ball games. You got to be able to show kids you can get them drafted. And we got guys in the league that are doing very well right now. And Tariq Woolen, in Seattle, arguably, in my opinion, the best corner in the league right now. They went in the 5th round. What a joke. Spencer Burford starting at guard for the San Francisco 49ers. We got numerous players on rosters right now. That's just a couple. And I think you'll continue to see that. So why leave? You want to win a bunch of ball games? You want to win championships? Get a little jingle in your pocket? Get to go play in the National Football League and play in the best city in the entire country, in my opinion, San Antonio? That's how we've done it.
Would it be fair to say that you have to have that culture to make kids even want to consider staying, but like in this era, if you don't have that collective there to at least back you up a little bit, you can end up losing some guys?
Well, I know this is not real smart of me to say this, and my agent would probably have a heart attack, but I have been concerned, like, what is my value anymore? Right? I know everybody in the state. There's some connection to everybody somehow with me, and that's always been how I've been successful. The recruiting and all that stuff, it's been a lot of help and a lot of people. People in this room that have helped me. So what is my value anymore? Well, it's equal if our money's equal. But we've got to get our money equal or it's not going to matter anymore. I can remember vividly, our new facility is called the Race Facility. We're very proud of it. It's a $40 to $45 million building. I remember sitting in front of our race board when I got hired, and we were short on the money. We had to raise the rest of it. And I remember telling them, if they can get it raised, and they can get me in that building, I won't be back in here asking for anything else. We'll win as many games you want to win in San Antonio. 2 years later, I'm back in the same meeting going, sorry, I also need that building, but I need about $2 to $3 million of NIL money every year as well. Well, those boosters are a tough spot. We've also got a baseball facility that we need to address. We've got basketball facilities we need to address. And the old AD in me, I feel for those people in my building. And so our boosters are in a tough spot because now you throw NIL on top of all those facilities.
Chris Daly, Lone Star Gridiron. In other talks, you've mentioned honor among thieves as it relates to the transfer portal. In a perfect world, what would happen when your kid is wanting to leave or someone else is talking to you about coming over? What would the coach do?
I'll just tell you what I've done. When those kids reach out to me and they want to leave, I tell the kid I'm going to call their position coach. And I'm going to have their position coach call their head coach. Or I call the head coach. That's what I do. And then it's right for the kid. Because he might be trying to leave a situation where the head coach plans on taking care of him and he's leaving before he even knows. So I won't be specific, and I know some people have said, well, why won't he name the names? My buddies know who I call. I call them. I was a high school coach for 25 years. So those guys just come in my door all the time. That's a lot of relationships. And You know, I hope that kid will remember one day, you know, when he was 21 or 20 trying to get out of that place. And so far, every kid that's called me wanting to leave that place, when I call the head coach and they get back in there together, the kids have never left. So obviously it went good for that kid and that coach. I would hope somebody did the same for me. I hope they call me and just say, you know, the kid's out shopping around. You might want to talk to him. That's what we're supposed to do. Unfortunately, Chris, what's happened, the pressure is just so large and the money's so big. It's made a lot of us, even me at times, question how true can I stay and still be competitive? If I keep getting kids hitting me up that want to leave their school and I keep calling the coach and none of them ever leave, am I going to be okay surviving doing that? So far it's worked for me, and I've said this a million times, when I go to bed at night, you know, if Care Bear is pleased, which is half the time, and the Lord is pleased, you know, I'm in a pretty good spot.
On that note, how difficult is it to deal with the other coaches or other programs trying to push the players, and with the enticements or inducements of NIL, and yet you may not be able to prove it in a way that'll get you any kind of retribution?
You know, I've kind of let that thing go, Sam, honestly, because I don't know what can be done about it. I've just really gone into the mindset of now, we're going to do the best we can to keep them. And whichever ones we lose, we're not going to talk about them. We're going to wish them the best of luck. And we're going to work our tails off to replace them with the same, go to the portal. Or we hopefully develop a high school kid to replace that young man. It's going on everywhere. It doesn't matter where you are. You say, well, go get this job, and then it won't happen. Well, then the NFL's taking them from them. I mean, or you know, it's just part of it. And who's to say the kid would have got injured anyway? You don't know. It's football. I mean, so I just decided I'm not going to just roll over and let them just have my kids. I'm going to call them on the phone, say, hey, Sam, my kid came in here and screenshotted you hit him up. He's on my roster right now. What are you doing, Sam? And usually Sam's going to say back, your kid came and told you? And I'm like, yeah, I've got the screenshot, Sam, right here. And that squashed 7 of the 8. You know, the one, he did what he had to do. And I'm still close to that one, too. I love the kid. I think he'll hit me back in 6 months. So, you know what, I miss you, Coach. I might have made a bad decision. I hope not. We'll see.
With the New Look American that you guys are walking into with the Texas flavor to it, does that get you going a little bit more? I know you're coming from Conference USA where there's some good Texas flavor, but having Rice, UTSA, UNT, and SMU in the same conference, just doing battle, is that just good for the state overall?
It's freaking awesome. You know, I love Red. I love it. SMU obviously had a great experience there. You know, I've gotten really close to Eric because Eric was at UIW. We're in the same city, and when I got the job, Eric helped me tremendously. Just helping me maneuver the lay of the land, you know. He was fantastic. Mike and I have been going against each other all these 3 years now. So, a lot of respect for those guys. We want to do our part, right? We're really proud of Texas football. And probably no more than in the country, you know, no matter what Joey says, more proud of it than I am. And I want Eric to win them all, and Mike to win them all, and Red to win them all, except for when they play the Roadrunners. I'm very loyal to the state. I know you're not supposed to say all that kind of stuff. Hell, I root for GJ, except for one time. And maybe that's just too sappy, too syrupy, I don't know. But I'm Texas through and through, man. I'm rooting for Texas. And I know that sounds small town, all that kind of stuff, but I'm for Texas.
2 more, Chris.
Y'all have 2 Friday football games this season on the schedule, and other conferences have moved towards potentially putting games on Friday night as well. I'm just curious, as a former high school coach in the state, how do you how do you think about those games on that night, and what could happen to football in the state if colleges continue to play on Friday?
I hate it. I'm against it. I'll tell you, it's not good for us, because I can tell you what's going to really happen. What's going to really happen, they're not going to be at the Roadrunner game on Friday night. They're going to have their phone at Smithson Valley and Cibolo, and they're going to be watching the Roadrunners on Friday night, and they're not going to be in the Alamo Dome. That ain't good for the Roadrunners. So maybe it might affect high school football in some other places, but it's going to hurt me, because we've only been playing football 12 years. Larry Hill been winning football games at Smithson Valley forever. David Siles been winning games at Cibolo, forever. Ron Riddiman and Alamo Heights, they got a good little run going over there, right? So, I ain't worried. I'm worried about us. I get it. Y'all worry about Texas high school football. I am too. But it's not good for anybody, in my opinion. We need to stay off Friday nights. And, because that's what it's going to really look like. I'm not teaching. They're going to be at Smithson Valley with their phone, watching the Roadrunners on their phone, instead of filling that Alamo Dome up where I need them.
College football to college games too.
Just you kind of addressed it a second ago, but I asked GJ yesterday how odd it was to be now on the other side of the rivalry between Texas State and UTSA, and kind of getting the same answer you did. But just going back your history with him and how fast his rise has been as a head coach, what you said about him and how proud of him.
Yeah, he truly is like a son of mine. What he went through with his father at such a young age. And I know everybody knows the story, but I mean, that's tough. And his dad's a hell of a man. And I pulled GJ out of every game in the third quarter because we were winning so much. Kid never said a word. His dad never said a word. GJ was close to breaking every record in the state of Texas. And I took him off the field in the third quarter of every game. And I think he had like 55 touchdowns and 1 interception. And his dad never said a word. And I just have so much respect for GJ. I love him like my own son. It is tough because, we're competing against the same kids, and I know it's a big game for them. They come into San Antonio that second week of the season. I don't like those deals. I don't. I really don't, because I want that kid to make it so much. And he will. He's gifted now. He's very gifted. And I'll be a huge fan, except for September 9th or whenever that is. And I hope he'll let the old man win one, and then he can move on with his young, great career.
Last question. Jeff, I'm a high school coach. I think this has always been a trend, or certainly as long as I've covered this sport, high school coaches have long had a presence on our college staff. But do you think yours and Joey's success as a head coach is sparking more of a movement of colleges here going into the high school ranks to bring them up and help win football games?
I know in our state it is for sure, which is also our guys are getting jobs outside the state because they want to get back in Texas so much. And I've said that, and I'll say it probably today in the high school panel. We have over 10, I don't even know, I quit counting. We're at least over 10 Texas high school football coaches. Who knows how many of them play Texas high school football. They're on my staff. And the more we win, the more those guys are going to get hired. So that's enough incentive to help us right there. And we've proven it. And you can already see, Eric was speaking yesterday. I heard Eric bragging about, I think he said he has 9 or 10 on his staff. Good for Eric. Yeah, that's smart. Eric's been successful. He knows what he's doing there. And I'm always rooting for Joey. Obviously, I'm rooting for myself because I know there's a tremendous commitment. Because here's the truth. It's not just we're doing it to pay our buddies back. They really are the best coaches in the country. They know how to coach. They know how to teach. They understand pressure. We all know how to recruit. In Texas high school football, you better hold on to your own roster. Somebody else will be taking them from you. So we're always having to hang on to our rosters. We've been doing that forever in Texas.
The way you manage a program at the high school level, because of the way the programs are run down here, help prepare for the way to run college programs?
There's no doubt. I had 15 years of trying to figure out some stuff. There is an art to being a head coach. And you get to do some things where you make some mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes along the way, man. A lot of mistakes. Some of y'all saw it because y'all were covering me back in the day. I'm a way better version of myself right now in my 19th year as a head coach as compared to that fluffy-haired, blonde-headed, flat-bellied kid that had that job at Gilmer back when he was 31. I mean, I'm 55 years old now. You know, you just kind of learn some stuff by doing it. And there's no doubt. Are there some things I had to learn that I was grateful? You know, I watched Todd Dodge's career. He went straight to doing it, right? And I remember thinking to myself, that would be really hard. So I was glad to be an assistant for 5 years under Charlie and Chad because I learned so much just about how to run stuff. There's so much off the field. Ball's ball. Locker rooms are locker rooms. But man, compliance, academics, strength staff, equipment staff, you got so much extra people that you got to learn to manage. And but everything else is the same. Media, you got guys covering in Texas high school football like crazy. Pressure to win the state championship every year, that's the same. And ball's ball, but that other stuff helped me get acclimated by being an assistant for 5 years.
All right, guys.
Thank y'all. God bless. Birds up.
And once again, I want to thank Junior Smokehouse for being the title sponsor of the Lone Star College Football Show. I look forward to telling you more about them each and every episode. Hey, if you want coverage of your school or just want to give a shout out to your team, leave us a voicemail at 713-568-6361 and we'll play it out on the show. That number again is 713-568-6361. Also, do us a favor and give us a rating and review on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. We will also read out the best reviews on the air. Until next time, I'm Chris Daly reminding you to get out there and enjoy some football.